So to prepare for the quiz, all you have to do is know what the different buttons on the machine are for, and what the presser foot is for, and what a bobbin is and where it goes on the machine, how to load the bobbin with thread, and how to put a spool of thread on the machine. So as long as you can handle all of those things, you'll be all set. Welcome to the sewing tutorial. Okay, welcome to the sewing tutorial. We have a sewing machine that is the Little Sew and Sew, which is a smaller version of a normal size sewing machine. And just to show you the difference, this is a normal size sewing machine right here. See the difference in the size. Okay, this one is super simple to use. I think that once you've used it for a few minutes, you're going to catch right on and you'll have no problem at all. This shows us a different type of stitches that this machine will create. And the stitches look just like the pictures that are on here. This is a zigzag one. You use that for making buttonholes. These other ones are also zigzag, but they're further apart from each other, and you can use those for making hems. This one specifically is made for making a blind hem. This is a straight stitch. That's the one you'll use to stitch almost everything that you use. This one is a longer straight stitch, and this is something you'll use if you want to kind of like gather things up and have it gather it for you. And then this is called a basting stitch right here. See how far they are apart from each other? That makes it easy to gather fabric together, you know, to make ruffles on things. Sewing is something that is fun to learn, and you have to be not afraid to make some mistakes. And if you've never done something before, don't use your final product material to do it. Use a scrap piece of something else to try out that stitch first, kind of get comfortable with it, and then use it on your actual material. That way you'll save yourself a lot of heartache. Okay. This dial right here corresponds to the numbers right over here. So if I'm on 5, then I am doing this stitch right here. So since we're going to be going straight forward, we want to do this stitch right here. Now, if you watch down here, I'm going to turn the number, and as I turn the number, you can see the needle moving to be in its new position for the new stitch I'm picking. So because of that, never turn that with this down, because you'll break the needle right off, because it'll try to move over and it won't be able to, and it will break the needle. So always make sure when you turn that, when you change your stitches, that your needle is up in the air. You put your needle up in the air over on this side of the machine. There's this. You turn it and it raises and lowers your... Okay? So now this thing right here tells you how far apart your stitches are going to be from each other, how little they are. And you don't really want to make them get too little. I would keep it between 3 and 4. But if you want to put in that basting stitch that we looked at, the one that's far apart that helps you make ruffles, then you'll want to make that bigger. Okay, so this is our needle. We use that on the side to turn it up and down, right? And right here, back underneath it, let's see if I can get you a good picture of it. There's this little presser foot. The foot goes, when you put that up, your foot lifts up so you can move your fabric in and out. And when you put that down, it holds your fabric in place. Okay, so we're going to lift it up right now so you can see that you pull your fabric out. And on the side right here, is this little... When you pull it out, you have 2 strips of thing. If you put them in here, there's a little sharp piece of razor in there that will cut off your thread for you, so you can take your piece of fabric out of the machine. Now, way down here on the bottom is where you plug in 2 things. The first one is the foot pedal, and the second one is the power. They only fit one way, so you can't mess those up. And that is all there is to see on this. Put it on the back here, where it goes, and put my cover on it. and put my cover on it and push that down in a spot. Now that will keep it from jumping off. You don't have to press it all the way like down right on top of it. Just make sure this is like on, because that'll keep your thread working right. And then I take the thread and I just follow these little pictures here where it tells me to go around the back of it right here and then come up through here, and then it tells me to go down and around and up again. Okay, so now let's watch that without following the pictures, just follow my hands. Down through here, up, and then I'm going to take it and push it through here. There's a little hole in there. Let me see if I can show you. There's a little hole in there. Push it through there, and now it goes through here, and I'm ready to thread my needle. Here on the side is a little drawer, and I keep this little item in it, and this is a needle threader. So what happens is you go through from the back, through the needle. You guys are so young, yours would be done by now. But look at this. Because now all you gotta do is take your thread and put it through this really big hole right here. And then, once it's through that, you just take this and pull it back through, and your needle is threaded. But we don't want white thread in the bottom, so we're going to take that out. We're going to get our purple. Let's say I had a color of thread that was a new color of thread that we didn't have a bobbin for already, or my bobbin became empty because I used all the thread on it. You have to be able to load more thread onto it. So let's learn how to do that. Now I'm going to go over here onto the top of the machine. You'll see that little gidget sitting there. You just push your bobbin on there, then go over here and get your thread and unthread it from the needle. So take that thread through there, coming back around over here to the bobbin. Wind this around the bobbin until all of the thread that's loose has been wound around that bobbin. And then push the bobbin against that. Now when you turn on your machine, it will, instead of sewing, it will wind that around your bobbin. Now you got this all loaded with thread. Let's put it in the machine. So I've got the cover off the machine, and I'm just going to snap that little, see I'm holding the string, snap this right down in there, put that string on top of it, close the machine, and don't worry about it, because the machine will find that little thread and will start the sewing of it, so you don't have to worry about where that thread goes to. And so that's actually done. Lift your needle back up again and then rethread it with your thread from the spool of thread, and you'll be off and running. Thread is through this part of it right here. Do that so it goes around and underneath and in the back. What we're going to do is put your fabric in through here, and you reach back up in here and put this down. The presser foot goes down, and then now one of the things it has with it is the foot pedal, and you put that down on the floor, and then you step on it like you would step on, I guess, the gas pedal in a car. And when you do that, it moves forward. And as it moves forward, it's sewing for you. And take it over to the side, and it will cut off on that little thing. And there, you've sewn a line in your fabric. and that's on the inside of the fabric. So this, if I had a fabric that had two different sides, a right side and a wrong side, that would be the inside of my fabric, because then when I pulled it apart like this, see, it's nice, neat seam, nobody can see. So that's how you sew that part of it. Now let's talk about what this other little gadget is over here. This right here, remember I told you it was going to be very important? What that little foot off to the side is for. Put my presser foot down, get ready to do this. I'm going to back this up so you can watch. Now I'm going to sew for a few seconds here, then push this, and it's going to make it go backwards over my stitches, and then I'm going to sew for a little bit forward, and then when I get to the end of where I want to sew, I will once again push this down and let it go backwards for just a few seconds. So it's going to go like this, and then I'll be done. And what it does is it kind of like it overlaps itself, and so that makes it kind of knot itself, so you don't have to worry about it. Then you can just pick up your fabric, pull it out, and cut the thread off. Right here, low or high. See how I've got it right here in the middle to the off? That's because these are automatic stitching. So let's say you had something really long that you wanted to stitch, like a quilt or a side of a skirt, and you wanted to be able to concentrate on keeping it straight and not have to worry about anything else. You would put it, so always put your thread down when you're about to start sewing. Use that knob on the side to turn it down. Now if I were to turn this to low, I don't have to press on that presser foot, and it's just going to keep going straight for me. And then when I'm done, I go back to off. So that's what this is for right here. Let me do it again. Okay, so let's talk for a minute about this. This is the tension, and this is where when you put the thread in back here and you're threading it to your needle, the thread goes into the back of here, and then you have to put it, don't put it up on the top, it'll just get caught in there. Put it underneath the bottom, right here. And then, so to prepare for the quiz, all you have to do is know what the different buttons on the machine are for, and what the presser foot is for, and what a bobbin is and where it goes on the machine, how to load the bobbin with thread, and how to put a spool of thread on the machine. So as long as you can handle all of those things, you'll be all set.